Just kind of waiting for some people to roll in. This is the unglamorous part of comics, is erasing the pencils. If you are a digital artist, you don't have to do this. I really want to be a digital comics artist, but I hate drawing on a glass screen. It feels totally dead to me. It's so much more efficient. But it's just, to me, it, like, I don't know. Imagine if, like, someone chewed your food for you and then you swallowed it. It just takes the whole pleasure of drawing away from me. Sorry, that was an unpleasant analogy. Many things to keep alive. Let's go away. So many things. If you know this CD and this band, then you're my best friend. My channel is here. You're the first one to be cool tonight. All right, thanks for joining, bro. I just assume you're a guy. I don't know. But usually the names that people give themselves kind of indicate, you know, it's a guy or a gal. You know what? If that house is in the background, I need this as a reference. So, like, that bit is kind of wood, so I have to kind of dookie-doo. This looks like a metal, sheet metal kind of thing here. It's meant to be sort of rusty. Maybe I'll have to add something there. Oh, the wood panels there, that's got to go there. Just been exhausted from today. Just got back. I did treat myself to a little dinner after work. This place I go. Anyway, that's not interesting. But, so this band is called Stereolab, and my understanding is there's like half the band is from England and the other half is from France, and they're really, really interesting. I like them a lot. So some of their music is goofy and like too experimental, but this particular CD is one of my top favorite CDs of all time. Like, I can listen to this a million times. The vibe is so sweet. It's just my, I love it. Let's go away. So there's some very sophisticated rhythms and like textured musical layers. They're like a band, but then they'll use technology to kind of fudge up the music that they make. You know, not fudge, but like make it interesting, is I guess how else to put it. The other thing too is that it's from a time in my life when I was a lot younger and more adventurous. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of a certain girl that I was dating. And it's just a really beautiful memory. So I'm at a point where I kind of feel like I want to cherish those memories. I don't want to feel like pain, you know, from the loss of a relationship or something. In the past several months, have had a lot of time to think about how I'm living, how I'm thinking, how I'm acting, and I used to, and I'm pretty careful not to do that so much now, but I pretty much lived in the past quite a lot, and I think the past is a sort of a comfortable place to be, in a sense that you know it, you know what it is, you sort of define yourself by it. And I think we all do this. It's not like it's just a very human thing. But when I say living in the past, I mean that just kind of reliving memories of happier times. It's not that I'm not like going over all these bad experiences. But then it kind of struck me, like, you know what, you're kind of ruining where you are now. Like the other night, what was it? I saw like a post, I think on Twitter or someplace, about, it was a woman, and she was saying, like, if I wanted to date you, where would I find you? Or if a woman wanted to date you, where would she find you? That's a very interesting question. And then it hit me like, oh shit, I gotta get out more. Like, they're not gonna find me in my art studio. I do get out. I'm not a hermit, but I don't know. I feel awkward in the sort of normal, the sort of the bars and that shit. I've never ever thought like a bar was a place where you would want to meet somebody. Even though like there's a lot of sexual tension and that kind of thing that kind of goes on in those environments, but interesting stuff. I was thinking of making this background black just to pop it out, but this is like it's in the daylight. It's a daylight scene. It seemed a bit odd, I think, to have a black background. Let's see. So yeah. Part of the exhaustion is just following what's going on. What's going on? You guys know what's going on. If you watch the video where I talk about my experience in Thailand, this album is my Canadian friend that I went on that trip with. He actually is the guy that introduced me to this band, which is kind of neat. That's actually sort of part of our friendship, was just showing each other new music and stuff. I don't know if you guys have a friend like that. Pudgy Burger! Good to see you. The past is hell and the present is more hellish. Don't get me started on the future. Whew, man, someone's coming out both guns blazing here. My channel says, okay, where's the other 8 or so people that show up? They'll be here. Stereo Lab, like 70s or something. I'm going to be playing them in the background while I work. And you can kind of get a feel for it. Of course, you can look them up as well. I guess there's definitely a sort of a psychedelic quality to their music. So it's not entirely wrong to say like 70s or something. That, of course, is a commercial, and it is not something that I endorse at all, especially since... All right, back to the music. So I'm pretty shocked, actually, at the views. Commercials again. Hold on. Okay, skip. All right, so I don't remember if it was yesterday's video or the one before yesterday, but it got like 170 views. 170 views. So hold on. I'm sorry, it's just too loud. Now, you got to think like I've been out of the game for a good while, unfortunately too long. And then I, had a couple shows here and there, and then I started kicking out these art streams. I will be having more shows, like not art streams, and I've been putting out shorts. So the shorts I think might be having a big impact. It'd be cool if people could sort of tell me where they're hearing about me from. Some people have said like, oh yeah, I saw your short and I clicked and here I am and this is really neat and blah blah blah. So that's pretty cool. Once again, references. And so here I have this idea. I need to pay a digital colorist to color these pages and get it up to speed with like a professional look as far as like the coloring. And that's mega expensive. So I had the idea that I would do like drawing requests and take do like super chats, but it would be a drawing request. So last night we were goofing around and my buddy Hollandier, and I said, all right, I'm gonna whatever you guys ask, I'll do a drawing for you now, that kind of. And it was silly and fun and stuff. But I'm kind of a businessman in a sense, and I'm thinking through like, And then another buddy of mine, he said, hey man, you should do super chats, get some money, something. And then I looked it up, yada yada, and YouTube is kind of saying like, this is how you do that. You click this, click that, something. But one of the things YouTube said was like to tell your audience what the money is for. It's not, like, I don't know, just whatever, something not related to the channel. And then it hit me like, yeah. I could essentially say, hey guys, help out with the publication of this by, pay X for, like a super chat for a drawing. I'll do a drawing for you right now. Not like crazy huge amounts of money or something. Obviously people can choose what they want to do. But, do that for an hour or two even, and let people have fun, And then just kind of do that a lot and start putting the money aside and, get the word out on this kind of thing, this, I don't know what to call it. It's sort of a business concept, because it's making money to color the book. Yeah, I could do Kickstarter and da. I'm kind of not crazy about that approach. I haven't decided on that yet. I don't know that exactly what I'm gonna do. But what are your thoughts on this, like, pay for a draw request or an art request kind of thing? I meant the regulars, not 8 total. Oh, we do have regulars on this show for sure, but we've had a good bunch of new people too. Welcome back, Robert E. Pyle. Throwing a Roman at you. Let's see, Budgie says, I love Stereolab. 4 guys from London, 4 girls from Paris. Damn good. Yeah, man. I mean, when I discovered them, I was like, wow, It's just such a, wow, It's very, very cool. Good stuff. So there you go, man. Or you could, do like accent requests, and I could do, talk in different accents. I'll tell you something funny. A while, this is kind of a cherished memory. a while back when Nellis was doing his poetry show on White Art Collective. He had a show on Irish poetry, and of course he had like Jack White, and I can't remember the woman's names. Lovely, lovely Irish lady. And you know, we're talking through classic Irish poetry. We're reading poetry, Irish history, mythology. Really, really enjoyable show. I'm part Irish, so for me personally, it was, you know, just a great experience and sort of trying to get back in touch with those roots, yada yada. And for a joke, I started speaking in an Irish accent on the show, you know, and I thought like, be careful, you know, and I made some jokes like, you know, Jack is gonna get out his shillelagh and you know beat me down or something, and they loved it. They were like, that was the girl there was like, oh my god, I can't believe that's totally convincing, something. So that was just fun. Anyway, there you go. The Fun World of Donald Kent. Alright, oh man. Oh, on the sleepy side. You know, you go to work, you come home. I mean, plus I didn't have like a huge dinner, but I think when you have dinner after 6 or something, probably a little too late for dinner. For me anyway, you know. Maybe I'll have to bring like a sort of a small dinner snack kind of thing to work. Anyway, we're gonna move on to this page here. Good boy, over here. So, yeah, you know, there's certainly very, very concerning things going on in the world right now. Yeah, that's sort of in the mood to muse on that so much. My only complaint really is what I heard about Stryker from TRS trying to get donations to send to Palestine. And I mean, I know that Palestinians need help at something, but not from white nationalists, you know, and not from TRS of all groups. These people are not our friends, you know. They're all over our country. I mean, I don't need to go into explanations on that. This is kind of cool. I was just kind of looking through some old drawings. I thought that Jackie Earle Haley would make a very cool comic book character. He played Rorschach in The Watchers, so I kind of did some studies of his face. He's a really, really great actor. Like, I really, really, really like him. He's like a small guy, but he's big personality, and in terms of like he's able to convey so much power. So I was very impressed. But commissions seem neat. Yeah, thank you, Hollandier. Love those big scenery inkings, like the one on the other page. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of get my my character sketches set. The other night I was like, where are they? And now I'm like, where are they? Maybe if your studio were a little cleaner, a little more organized, you wouldn't have this problem. It's not like, I mean, these drawings are fairly good, but damn it. So let's see what we do have. We got these guys. So I set them aside the other night. Son of a gun. I know it's your fault. It's the audience's fault. You distracted me. Isn't that easy? Just blame you guys, and you know, and just don't be accountable at all. Part of it is just I'm a little overwhelmed at the moment. I'm gonna wing it. You know what? Sometimes you just gotta go out on stage and wing it. I have a decent enough understanding of the designs of these, so I'll do what I can. how was your day? How was your day? Tell me about your day. Never mind about the TRS. Talk about T-Rex. Right. That was good. That was a good one, man. Um, what's that? Is it a Bowie song or something something T-Rex? You know the one. It's pretty famous. All I need is T-Rex or something. Or I could do a T-Rex impersonation. No, I won't. I will not do that. I did do that at my friend's house the other night. That was quite funny. I was like, that's it. This is how I'm picking up girls now. T-Rex impersonations. You know? It's like a thing. So I guess I should have like some stories lined up or something. I tell you, I'm excited about starting to work with Paul from Patriarchs. He and I are kind of talking through our plans for next week. We're looking at starting on Tuesday. The trick is kind of like, okay, I'm East Coast, he's UK, it's 5-hour difference. What's the best time for both of us, but more so than that is like, what's the best time for the audience? Because you figure, you want to have a live audience. You want it to, we wanted to got some plans. So anyway, I suggested 5 my time and 10 his time. I think that's good. I feel like that would work. But I can, like, speaking for myself, like if I had to start a show at 10 at night, I think I'd be a little beleaguered, that might be too tough. That could possibly be tough for him. So I'm off on Tuesday, so I just said, hey, I'm flexible, work it out. Work it out. So when I listen to this music, I want to learn French so bad. I guess maybe I'll tell you a little. It's not like a story, but I don't know. A few years ago, when I had a higher status as a sort of quasi e-celeb within the movement, there was this French girl that I guess kind of reached out to me. We chit-chatted, this and that, and it turned into like phone calls and video calls, and I'll be honest, we were falling for each other really hard, But then I'm like, you know what, I can't keep going with this, because like I'm not gonna, I can't go to France, like it just hurts too much to have a long distance relationship. But it's so heartbreaking though, like when you are into someone and they're into you, and it's, you have that like crazy high that you get from being in love, then you have to kind of admit to yourself, it is what it is, So sad. So I guess this music is kind of bringing her to mind. This is a little too much. Some of these markers are really, really thin, like almost hair thin. You can't even see the tip of it. But you need those for fine details far away, that kind of stuff. I'll turn the music up a bit. Okay, and see what you guys are chatting about here. The rural France is still French. Yes, I have heard that. He's missing out on the baguette. I did actually start watching some YouTube French language lessons, you know. Just thought, like, I want to, shut up. Like, you know, just to kind of start getting familiar with, like, the sounds, the alphabet, a little bit of grammar, and, you know, starting to wrap my head around it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I speak some Mandarin, I studied Japanese, I'm, you know, not terrible with languages. You know, I have the motivation of, well, you know, this is part of my ancestry. I don't know. We'll see. It's a sort of a fantasy, I guess, because you got to think, like, if you're going to invest the time into something like that, and then never use the language, what's the point? You know, come on, that's a bit much. You know, at least I can order Chinese food. You know, that was kind of a sour joke, but oh well. Who knows where the future will lead us? I have to say, I'm very, very much in the mindset of, like, you know, wherever my son goes, I'll go. You know, thanks to the COVID propaganda and all that shit, well, I don't have a lot of family left, you know, that I can, honestly, that, you know, you get the general idea. So that's the thing. He's got a ways to go, you know, he's still young, school, this and that. So it's not like tomorrow. And it's probably not going to be France. As much as I would love that, but, you know, like rural France or something. Sometimes you get, I don't know, when you're sort of navigating between inking and penciling, you kind of sort of have to go halfway and get things clarified for you. Okay. I do have a very close friend in France, though. So that's a start. But yeah, I mean, I see myself more like kind of jumping around between France, UK, Ireland, Scotland. I gotta say, I don't have any particular interest in Spain or Portugal. I don't have anything against those countries, but it's just, I don't have it like a personal interest in it, you know. I'm very, very curious about Germany. I think that Italy would be like a lot of fun, and you know, just in terms of like amazing architecture, history, all that kind of good stuff, you know. Food, it's going to be phenomenal. But I just gathering from what I hear, I don't think that I would be like happy or fit in well in Italy. It's just a different kind of speed. I'm a bit more of a mellow dude, you know, like I'm not Italian. Anyway. Also, you know, uh, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Norway. I think I absolutely have to explore that area. I'm friends with Kai Muros. I'll definitely be hanging with Kai. Um, Beautiful women up there. Oh boy, oh boy. So like that's a whole other thing, you know. Something about those Nordic women. Damn. Yeah, interestingly, when I was clubbing in Taiwan, there was this like crazy drop dead gorgeous Nordic girl out at the club. I mean, like just exactly what you think, you know, like that kind of. Are you even human? Like you're so beautiful, you know. Supermodel kind of in every way. And you know, again, when you're in Asia and you're out there doing stuff, having fun, yada yada. Whenever you kind of come across another white person, you're just sort of by default you kind of smile at each other. Hey, where are you from? You know, it's just a neat thing that goes with the package. And I'm gonna fast forward this in 10 seconds. So come on. Anyway, so she's into me. We're dancing. She's kind of approaching me, and I'm like, hey, you know, wow, what's going on? And then you know I can kind of tell that she's got this accent. Her English is very good. There's definitely an accent there, so I'm like, you know, like, hey, let's go outside for a bit and chat, you know, catch some air, and you know, kind of really get to know each other a bit, you know. So we do that, and I'm like, I'll be honest, I was nervous, you know. It's like sometimes when you're around like insanely beautiful women, you can't not be a little like, whoa, you know, it's overwhelming. But you know, anyway, we're having our nice little intimate chat on like a park bench, you know, and I'm just kind of feeling her out, trying to, you know, get to know her and how compatible we are. And I gotta say, she said some things about like, just things that made me realize that she was like a super turbo liberal, you know. Oh, and I'm like, oh, you know, this is like, wow. I don't know how you can. I mean, it's just the things that she said that was turned me off like super hard. And you know, I wasn't going to be rude to her or whatever, but I just was like, well, hey, let's go back to the club and go enjoy ourselves, all right, you know. And just kind of moved on with my evening. So that's my Swedish girl story. I hope someday I have a better story than that. Jeez, this guy's helmet is like so detailed. It's gonna like every time I draw him, it's gonna take like 15 minutes to draw just his helmet, you know. Anyway, check in the chat to see what's happening up here. All right. The only language you need. Hold on, let's back up. Wow, you guys are kicking it up here. 2 p.m. East Coast time. That's your suggestion. Okay. I don't know what. Are you guys all from America? Are you my national brothers here? So I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find where I left off. Commissions, TRS, Alice Cooper, and The Sweet. The Sweet for sure. I'm not a big Alice Cooper guy. Patriarch, love him. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, 2 p.m. I'll maybe throw that out there. It's probably better for him too. Local time is 6/7. Their time, very very good. Just about okay, good. I mean, if you're East Coast, yeah. Like I said, I'm off on Tuesdays, so why can't you parlez-vous français? Because I have to study it. Donald, this is some French action going on here. You guys are making me feel left out. Rural France is still French. He's missing out. Da, da, da. It's a nasal bon. Bon. C'est bon. Okay, I'll work on that. The only grammar you need is rude. And mime movements. Mime movement. That's good. Okay, I'll remember that. I'll just mime my way through France. Don't let your memes be dreams. Wow, that's a good. I should have a T-shirt with that. I'm sorry, I'm yelling over this. Take the cheese challenge. Yeah, I love cheese. French cheese has got to be great. French wine. Cheese will not divide us. Yes. All right, man. You guys are. I'm bringing all of you to France with me. Go check out the German colonies in South America. I mean, what is it? There's Brazil, of course, has some Argentina. Like old school Germans. Yeah, that dude in the skull mask is a Fed, I think. Something I think about. Let's see. Da da da. I mean, I like that while I'm drawing these, people kind of are like building their own ideas about the story. I think that's kind of an interesting, unexpected phenomenon. And when the story finally gets out, this pretty interesting situation with him. He actually gets murdered by the new MAGA force. I did mention that in another show. He's not a Fed. He's not a Fed. But anyway, I mean, if you want to think he is, you could. Moving on. My channel, love the old school Germans. Don't be nervous, just go for it. Gotta head out. Aw, Robert, y'all take it easy. Okay, man. Okay, Mr. Pyle, later. Bear is here. He says, I watched the Blade Runner 22 anime just now. Ah, interesting. And it's 15 minutes short besides the main character being black. Ah, what? I wouldn't watch it at all if I knew that. It was fantastic. I'm sure the animation was gorgeous, you know. Watch it in Japanese with subtitles, though, to avoid groid speak. Charming. Robert says, hit the like button, everyone. Woohoo! I mean, 7, 8, their time. I understood. Excuse me. Hollandier, if the Earth was flat, we wouldn't have to deal with time zones. Good to have you back. Batui, yeah, take that. Not a flat earther. I have a real close friend who is, and I'm always like, it's always a bit awkward when he kind of goes there, you know. I just kind of smile and nod, and I'm like, oh, wow, really? Oh, that's fascinating. You know? So I'm not being condescending to him. I just sort of like, you know, what can I tell you? Do. Let's see. What is up? I really love this old man character. His some really neat things that happen in the story. I guess on another show I will like pull out the storyboards for the graphic novel and maybe kind of go over them. They're very, very rough drawings. I mean, I know what I want. You know, I can read them. I know what they say, or you know what they mean, etc. But it's sort of like spoiler alert. You know, these are some things that happen in the story, kind of thing. And yeah, Runner is one of my favorites. That would annoy me a lot to see the race swapping. I wouldn't. Again, like I said, I just wouldn't watch it at all if I knew that were the case. You know, I don't know. I'm curious to see the next installment of the Dune film. Anybody know when that's coming out? The first one, I think when I saw it, I was just blown away by the eye candy. But to be critical about the actual movie and the story, there's, you know, it's not perfect in my view. I think mostly a lot of it is because I don't care for the casting in many cases. This whole, you know, that kind of skinny kid that plays the main character, like he's just a, you know, there's like a meme around where it's like, you know, these are the male leads from the 1980s, and it's all these huge muscle men. And then here are the male leads for today, you know, and they're just these dweeby, skinny, twerpy, you know, guys, yeah, and kind of makes you go, who's that Samoan guy that they have? He's Aquaman, long hair. I actually wasn't crazy about him in there either. I think I'm just like burned out. I'm tired of just the same old casting kind of shit that you see. You know, it's just all the same. I think what gave me the desire to learn French was essentially like my fine art education in college. The the French painters, you know, like the kind of the mythology of that completely stole my heart. I was just like, I want to be Edgar Degas, you know. Now, I did one of the earliest studies that I did in my art education was Paul Gauguin. And now Gauguin, it turns out he's half Peruvian. And, you know, of course, we all know that he moved to, was it this? Tahiti. And his whole thing was to be more like a savage. He wanted, well, you know, I'm using that word. People, it was like the term of the time that they used. And it just meant essentially to be unfettered by the norms of like European civilization, something. And you know, it is what it is. That's who he was. I was, and I guess I still am inspired by aspects of him, his thinking, his art. It's it's not. I mean, by my standards, it's kind of crude, but there's a lot of honesty in it, and there are some very very great qualities to it. Um, where am I going with this? Yeah. But yeah, I just saw, I just studied so much about these French painters, and I wanted to be one. So let's see, Devin Jolly, welcome, Devin. Oh, he's leaving. Okay, what are you confused about? Duncan, Idaho. Let's see. Let's. Wow, you guys, I can't keep up with you. Let's see. Make a character gay. Nah, that's not my thing. Ree is here. Welcome, Ree. Um, I don't do gay characters. They're not. There's never. If they actually, I'm gonna have to take that back because the guys, the sort of villains in this story, they. I think I'll just leave it kind of. Nothing is graphic, and I'm not gonna do that. But I'm drawing a parallel between these characters and a certain 1% in society that has certain rituals that are what they are. So we're just going to leave that there. My channel is here. That's every Marvel character already. Yeah, see, now that, there you go. It's like, if you want that, just go get Marvel and DC, Gaze retro, it has to be a colorful, obese transformer. Again, I'm a mass, like, that shit just turns me off, makes me nauseous, and it's totally saturated every other aspect of media. So you're not going to see that in my comics. Definitely not. Moving on. Dune 2, yes. March 15th. Oh, God, I got to wait till March 15th. My channel says, was that the affirmative action female scientist? What are you making? Devin Jolly. I'm making comics. I got a lot of different stuff at my channel. I don't know if you're even still here, but just doing my comic book art here. Somewhere on my YouTube, you should be able to find a link to my website. You can learn more about me and see more of my work. Oh, Jason Momoe, there it is. I always want to say Jason Mimosa. Anyway, Hippocratic Oath is here. He says, I know they made the judge of the change a girl. Charming. Who's that? Jason Meadows, Duncan, Idaho, yeah. Or that makes. Yeah, maybe help out Devin a little bit with what you're talking about. We're talking about Dune and the characters in Dune. Sunflowers and corn, yellow. What are we talking about? Van Gogh now? Bear says you may have missed my cope about the character not technically being black because he is a replicant. It was a cope to be sure. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the Japanese felt compelled to do that. I don't quite know. I loved it when the race of a character wasn't central to the character. That I grew up and reading comics, and I love the Black Panther. I love characters like that, the Falcon, etc. And I mean, I know it's Black Panther, whatever, does something, but and I suppose it is obviously integral to the character in some regard. But now it's just like they're hitting you over the head over and over and over and over about it, and it's not. You wouldn't do that with any other character. And it just kind of like destroys. How to put it? It's like, let's say, I don't know. It's just overbearing and unnatural, and it works against making the characters likable. You know, yeah. So there you go. And there's a lot of black actors that I like. can never say his name. Something Idris. Idris. Alba Idris or something. I can't say his name. But and others. I mean, I don't know the names of all the actors in the world, but. That's a really good song. Turn this up. All right. So, for those who don't know, this band is called Stereo Lab. This character here is called Westgard. I have to say that my son used to really be in the video game called Destiny. And if any of you guys are gamers, I'm sure you know the game. I was, as a comic book illustrator, concept designer, I was super impressed with the character designs. They just were so freaking cool. You know, it's like, oh, so wicked. And I guess I'm kind of modeling some aspects of him, like his helmet specifically, after that. Like it kind of appears as if he could be a character in Destiny. Let's see if you guys have any interesting conversation going on up here. Uncle Ruckus. What is shaking? I think the reason Japanese... Okay, let's get into it. Bear says, I think the reason the Japanese did it that way was a direct order from the Western studio that contracted it. Yeah, contracted it. Otherwise, they typically... Hold on. Otherwise, they typically don't pander to that. My channel, it breaks the experience. Yeah. Idris Alba. Thanks. See, what would I do without you guys? Budgie Burger says Michael Jackson is my favorite black actor. Okay. What's that Halloween one that he did with John Landis directed it? We all know that one. Okay. Oaf says Michael Jackson is whiter than any of us. My channel says Uncle Ruckus. I don't know Uncle Ruckus. Hey, music request Michael Jackson by Negative Land. I'll look it up in a second. Let me just do that right now. Okay, let's take a look at this, see what we can find. Hang tight. Talk amongst yourselves. Negative Land. I'm sure I've been there once or twice. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's check this out. Reflex Negative Land, okay. All right, this is it. This is your request.
The big city isn't around here, and once we do hear somebody shoot off a couple of guns in the distance, and somebody rattles some tin cans or something, and that's about all. So it's very quiet. Oh, look out! Here I come! Michael Jackson! Look what you've done! Michael Jackson? It's better than mud all over my dress with your old bicycle. Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson? Oh, gee, what am I going to do? Van Halen. Oh, I'm sorry, Carol. You were too close. Tina Turner. Sorry. What good does that do? David Lee. You know you aren't supposed to be riding your bike during lunch hour. This, the gun, the playlist and the news, the cars, Herbie Hancock, Bonnie Tyler, ZZ Top, Weird Al Yankovic, Ziggy Looper, Katie Floyd.
It's kind of like an interesting piece. Is there any music in this song? What have I gotten myself into? That's the whole song? It's just him naming off these people? That's what you get for taking requests. that was it. Okay, well, I was kind of hoping there would be some music or something. I was expecting it to be like punk rock or something. Anyway, we're gonna get back to Stereo Lab momentarily. As soon as it kicks in, come on. All right, there you go. So yeah, I'm kind of on a, I don't know what to call it, like just kicking ass with getting the production stuff done, you know. Comics take time, a lot of time, a lot of like focus. It's just, I'll say, it's so much nicer to do it hanging out with you guys. I didn't actually expect a lot of people to kind of get into these streams, but it's turning out that there's more and more. I certainly like, you know, like art streams with like my favorite dudes and stuff. That's always fun. So let's see if I can put a little more light on that. Apparently not. Let's see what you guys are saying. Bentley Squad's here. Welcome, Bentley Squad. I always feel like if someone's new to the channel, I should kind of try to show them some other artwork. I'll give you a little look. There's like a kind of a splash page. Some of the characters. If you guys have looked at any of the shorts that I've done, you can see a lot of my fine art and my conceptual art in there, because I don't just do comics. Just do a lot of stuff and music. Still working on the music though. Anyway, oh, here's something cool. This is a new character at the bottom here. You know, here's your bad guy, and there's his personal bodyguard. So like, there's gonna be some badassery going down later in the story there. But get to that in time. Let's see what else might think. Okay, let's see. A lot of chat happening here. I'm Scottish. Oh, cool. And I think Michael Jackson makes me look tanned. Oh, jeez. Like from Scotland, or it's just Scottish heritage? My favorite black guy is the Justin Trudeau. Oh my God. It was like a college party or something where he did blackface or something. That's a pretty dope ski instructor. All right. Yep, that's it. Wait for it. My channel says Cindy Looper. That does sound like a band or a song, something I thought is schizophrenic. I haven't heard it in ages. Wait for it. Oh dear. Well, I'm gonna let you guys continue chatting what you're doing. If I'll check back in a bit, but what am I doing here? Okay. So make sure you guys see what I'm doing. That'd be nice. So for me, it feels very much like the political climate is getting a lot hotter. You know, this thing with Israel trying to pull us all into World War III. I mean, anybody who kind of knows the plan or whatever, it's sort of knew this was coming. a little funny story for you. How did I get into comics, drawing comics? So, I'm in third grade, and it's like the first week of third grade, and I'm already kind of known in school as like a guy who is like a good drawer, like when you're a kid or whatever. I guess that's like a thing, a certain status or something. And also, I was a tall kid, so I was, kind of stood out in that regard. And then I'm in third grade, a new class, new student, new friends, new kids, and we're all kind of, sort of getting to know each other as you would. And there were some kids in there. They're like, "Oh, you got to meet this other guy in class. He's like, he's also a great drawer like you, and he's tall like you." And so everybody kind of like organizes this meeting, between these two guys, and fortunately, we ended up becoming like best friends, and thank God, But we would draw or would bring drawings in, and it was just wonderful. It was like a really great experience. But one day he said something to me because at that age, I don't know, it was just kind of common to be into comics and stuff. And he's, "Oh, what kind of comics do you like?" "Oh, I like this and that and something something." And then he says to me, I draw my own comics. Do you draw comics?" And when I heard him say that, my jaw hit the floor. Like, half of it was, "You draw your own comics," and the other half was, "Why the hell didn't I think of that?" You know. So I'm not. I should say I'm ashamed of this, but I lied. I basically said, "Yeah, I draw my own comics." And my buddy just like he just was so deflated by that. He was like, "Oh, I thought I was the only one," like he felt like, oh, it kind of took the air out of his sails or something. And they're like, "All right, well, you bring yours in tomorrow, I'll bring mine in tomorrow, and let's check them out. It'll be fun." Well, I go home that day and I'm like drawing like a fiend, to like get to like draw like, I don't know, a 10-12 page comic book like as fast as I can. So that was kind of funny, and it was pretty crappy, but I did it. And anyway, but that was the start of like a great friendship. And then he and I would kind of like, we'd be doing comics on our own, and then we'd get together and we draw. You're doing yours and I'm doing mine, and it was like just a really really cool thing to do. And then we would look at comics and be like, how do you draw legs, or how do you draw arms, or what's the trick to this and that. So like between the two of us, we sort of explored, how do you draw various parts of the anatomy from comic books, obviously, right? So we're sort of teaching ourselves, but side by side, and it was just great fun, Very, very, very fortunate to have a friend like that, and we're still friends too. So. What do you know? When we kind of reconnected on like Facebook or something years later, he told me that like there was I think he had a flood in his house or something, and it destroyed like his entire comic book collection and all of his artwork. And I'm telling you, like for a kid or even anybody, that's like totally devastating. That's really, really horrible. And when he told me that, I dug around and I found like a lot of drawings we did together, which he had, I had some of his drawings. or drawings that, like, we started a comic book together, so he would draw a few panels, I draw a few panels, or something like that, you know. And I scan them and send him like nice high-res copies. And I can't tell you like how happy that made him. He was just super, super, super happy. And he's like, you know, you're helping me to share these with my kids, because I've only told them about it like a million times, and it's sort of like legend, you know. But finally they get to actually see some of it. So like I'm deeply grateful, you know. Kind of a nice story. But I don't know if you guys have any friends like that in your life that like they were there in your life when you were going through a phase of some kind, that you were really, really into a certain thing. It could have been a sport, it could have been a video game, it could have been books or music, bands, or this or that. But it's a very, you have a kind of bond through that that's really wonderful and unique. All right, I'm gonna have to do this lower, this part here. Donald, could you see yourself not drawing for 6 or 7 years? God, no. Hell no. Oh, God. I wouldn't be me. I would not. It's a horrible, horrible thought. Let's see. Bear says, I also had a similar situation. Well, once again, you guys, I should have to read through here. Tall drawers of the world. Well, it sounds like you're having a good convo, so that's cool. Moving on. What'll I do? So I don't know if I mean, in these shows, I really just, you know, kind of talk about whatever I feel like. I don't have it, none of it's scripted or whatever, but I'm not so inspired tonight. Just maybe I was a tiny bit tired. It's kind of a side of me that's like, I don't know, like tired of everything. Not like physically, but just mentally, you know, tired of people's bullshit. Just, I've kind of come to feel that you have to conserve your energy. You got to be selective about what you worry about and don't worry about. What you think about, who you're trying to impress, you know, which is nobody, you know, other than myself, I guess. But yeah. But I feel a lot of, I guess I could call it pressure. It's just people have expectations of me that I don't care about. I don't feel any need to fulfill. But it's not out of malice. It's just like, you know, I've been through a lot in the last bunch of months. It's kind of personal stuff, but this is kind of the thing about life, is when you go through some heavy shit, you kind of streamline it a bit. And that's not to say I don't get annoyed or I'm not perfect. But at the same time, you let go. You sort of let go at a certain point. And people aren't going to change. You know, they are who they are. They're always going to behave a certain kind of way. And you kind of have to accept it, but you don't have to be a part of it. That's kind of the trick of it, you know. I just can't wrap my head around why certain people just feel any kind of need to puppet me or control me or get me to react in certain ways. That doesn't make any sense to me. I would say, like, you do you. You know? It's like, I kind of feel like it's a type of narcissism. You know, I don't know what else it can be. I've got a situation that is starting tonight, actually, and dealing with a certain person, and I've had some difficulty with this person in the past. We've known each other a long time, but you know, I'll just kind of slip it in there. It's a family member, and it's tricky, right, with family because you're kind of compelled to, like, okay, well, it's family. I have to ABC, you know. Um, but you can't. I don't know. I don't have the ability to compromise anymore. You know, I'm just like, take me or leave me. I don't care. You know, I don't. And again, it's not even out of malice. It's just like, God bless you. I wish you well on your journey. But it's not my journey, so don't try to control me. You know, actually, that's kind of the whole thing about me is I just as a personality. Probably one of the things I hate the most of other people is when they're trying to manipulate me because they don't realize like how much of that shit I've been through already in life and how I completely like they're totally transparent to me and I'm like, can you know, I just want to hold a mirror up to these people and be like, just stop, you know, just please stop, you know, you're embarrassing yourself. I'm not always that compassionate, but I should be. What is it about people that are compelled to or obsessed with kind of controlling others other than, you know, narcissism? I can't really, what else could it be, you know? But I feel as if it's a type of insecurity. It's a thing where like, well, I'm not happy with who I am, so I'm gonna control you, you know, and that'll give me a false sense of power. Surf the Kali Yuga, bro. That's precisely right. Kingston Aish is here. Kingston, what an awesome name. You must be a very powerful individual. Guess what? So what? Okay, you said the guess what. I said the what, and I got to answer. But I'm glad that I got some new friends every night. I'm getting new friends, new subscribers. What I'd love to know is how you found me. I'm, you know, working a bit with the algorithms, doing shorts and all kinds of cool things to, you know, push more traffic. I'm planning out some new shows. A lot of exciting things in development, so this channel is coming alive. And so it's a really, really good time actually to discover me actually. I think a lot of people already know I'm gonna be doing like a Tuesday show with the head of Patriot Community Arts in the UK. He and I are basically doing kind of like a draw-off, I guess is sort of what we're calling it, where on screen we'll have my drawing table and his drawing table, and we're going to draw on basic themes that relate to white well-being, to Western civilization, to the challenges of our movement. And I'll be having on guests from the monthly White Art Challenge and the Patriot community. Patriotic art community in UK is associated with Mark Collette and Patriotic Alternative. They happen to be friends, so I would imagine that somehow in the future Mark Collette will be connected to this show, or I'll be on his show, or something. You know, we'll figure that out when the time comes. But Mark Collette just did a very, very, very good interview today with, I believe she goes by the name Syrian Girl. She's actually Palestinian. She lives in Syria, and you can fill in the blanks. She is talking about the insanity in Israel and all that. I'd say Mark is gotta be like the top speaker in our movement. I mean that's a hard thing to calculate. There's a ton of like great people that have done great things, and they all kind of have different angles and different areas of interest, etc. But Mark is super professional. He's very English, which I like. Just a stellar guy, a stellar guy. So. But like when people find my channel, I don't really know if they know who I am. I think you guys know what I mean by that. Not that that's anything bad, but I'm Batman. No, that's not who I am. But yeah. So if you like what you see, then stay and be part of the fam. Part of the culture we're making and we're living and loving. It's a white positive show. If you take some time to look through my other videos, you can get a pretty strong sense of my accomplishments in this struggle. Quite a lot, actually. But as I've said several times already, I had to take some time off for life things, and I'm back. So groovy. Like wow, man. It's gonna be groovy. I'm gonna have a good time. Excited to work with Jayla Dark from the White Art Collective. Just featuring her projects, which is the monthly White Art Challenge. That's not a really known group right now. That's sort of a, I don't want to say it's not secret, but it's not public, I guess, if that makes sense. Not yet, anyway. And I'm going to be featuring more artists. I've had, I think, at least 2 people from that group on my show. So that is going to be exciting, and it's just all about promoting the arts of white well-being. I'm going to be on Yiz's, what do you call it, Discordant Dragons once a month. And so we're kind of tying in with that community. And this is some cool stuff going on. Cool stuff. I kind of feel like with the... Oh, can you guys even see what I'm doing? I'm completely in La La Land here, sorry. I like Mark Collette, but I really wish time and resources weren't spent creating sympathy for a foreign people that in the end is as much an adversary as Israel just because they oppose Israel. This is what we're working through right now as a people, because he's not, like, for example, I forget his name, Stryker, TRS, who I have no beef with. I'm not trying to throw shade on him, but he is doing something very damaging to the movement right now. He's trying to get funding or funds, donations to send to Palestine, and that is just a terribly misguided thing to do on many levels. He's putting himself on. He's putting like a target on his back with the FBI for doing that. Just because you're sort of against the Jews doesn't mean that, suddenly that makes like the Hamas right in any way. And I commented a little bit on this the other night. We need to stay out. Muslims are not our allies. I don't wish any harm on anyone, but I don't know. I think that because I watched some of Mark's show with Syrian Girl, and it really was more about the war crimes, the crimes against humanity from Israel. So and I don't think that's wrong. I don't think there's anything counterproductive about that. It's we have to point out the corruption of Israel, the power of Israel, Jewish hegemony. That is part of our mission in our sphere. So I wouldn't, at the moment, from what I know, I certainly wouldn't say that he is kind of working against our own interests in that regard. Mark's an extremely smart guy. He's a really, really, really bright guy. Like I just, plus his standards and all that are really good. So I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about him making any kind of mistakes, Yeah. So let's get back into the mood here. Enemy of the enemy. It doesn't, yes and no. I mean, like, there's like, right, like, so I've got a friend who is Palestinian, and obviously we're talking about this quite a lot. And he's saying, like, America this and America that. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not even really America. It's the government. And not only the government, it's the shadow government. And not only the shadow government, and I could go on to be like, if you look at, like, the CIA since, gosh, I don't know, the 50s to now, or, Jewish infiltration. Talk about the assassination of JFK. I mean, you can't really, that's not me. That doesn't represent me in any way, shape, or form. These are rogue elements in the government that are profoundly evil. So when you hear Iran say, "Death to America," it's like, you would want to point to the government and say, it's them, it's not us. Like, don't blame us for what they're doing. Now, granted, the media obviously has a huge power over perception, and Americans have been duped a lot since forever, or whatever, since the 50s or longer. Let's say that, yeah. So, like, it's not a football team. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, whatever America decides, and I go along with it because that's my team. And then also it's like, the Palestinian people have a right to their land, and they're being severely abused. Da 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 da. These are realities. I can see how people who are in our movement would want to, in some way, kind of capitalize on exposing the Jews and da 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 da, all that stuff, But it's pretty tricky territory. The American government is occupied by Zionists. I mean, America is a puppet state of Israel. So whatever you say and do is, subject to that, if you will. I'm not saying to, like, cop out and be a coward. Like, don't name the Jew or da da da, whatever. I mean, of all people, that's not me. I'm not a coward. But
so expensive. We have this hotel.
Where am I going with this?
To ourselves.
It's just it's this kind of situation that we're in requires some thought, you know, before we get sort of emotionally entangled in what's happening. I guess that's a good way to put it. Very crazy times we're living in here. Computer is jammed, which is fine, I guess. See if you guys can see what I'm doing. Bad Striker. Yeah, and I don't dislike Striker. I'm not against Striker in general. I know that, you know what, I'm not saying like I agree with everything he says. I don't really follow him above and beyond just some stuff that I see that my friends share. You know, I'm a fan of NJP. But, you know, we're people, and people are not perfect, and everyone's a work in progress. It's just like, I think that if you're in an organization that claims to represent white people's interests, you kind of need to think through what it is you're saying and doing so that we're on message. You know, we're all kind of on the same page. And I feel like Stryker's, he's a very, very bright person, but he's very passionate. And this is what he thinks and what he feels, you know. Now, that is, all I'm saying is like, you do you, you know, like you can express your thoughts and do whatever it is, but I don't think that it's right to kind of, that everybody should be lumped in with this because you are in this organization and you sort of, you know, claim to represent white interests. So I think you guys get the idea. Oh, golly gee. But it's interesting getting back to that situation where I'm going to have to deal with this particular person. There's been many, many times where I've been in a situation with this person, and he's a great guy in his own way, and it's all good or whatever. There's always a friendliness, you know, but then in the guise of like friendliness, he'll kind of slip in some sort of little mind game that's meant to control me. Like, you know, why don't you do this thing? And I'm like, because you're not my fucking mother, asshole. Fuck off, you know. You know, it's like, oh, how can or my favorite answer is because I'm not you. And like, yeah, I love to say that to people because like when they're like, oh, how come you don't do this way? And I say, because I'm not you. And you watch the cognitive dissonance like spark in their brain, and they kind of like, you know, suddenly their narcissism and their ego starts to kind of fall apart. And again, to me, it's just like, why? Like, get a fucking hobby or something. Just fuck off. Get the fuck off my back. I don't understand that, you know? You do you, man. But I guess this is the thing, like there's people out there that that's their thing, they like to control others. So I don't know what else to tell you, you know? Like, wow, you know? What can I tell you? I would wager that people in the government are very, very much like that too. You know what I mean? Probably not all, you know, but positions of power or something like that. I don't know. I do not know. So what's shaking up here? So, just to clarify, you are disavowing Stryker, want him kicked from the movement, and hate his guts. Bear, you son of a gun. Uh, what am I gonna do with you? Budgie Burger says, love Depeche Mode, would love to hear them. I'm sorry, boss, but I can't stand Depeche Mode. I'm sorry. I know Richard Spencer would disavow me for not liking them, but I will hear other requests for music. Definitely. Is Stryker the one who is Semitic Arab himself? I don't know of anybody in TRS who's Arab. I forgot which of the TRS fellows. You know, that might actually, there might be some truth to that. That's an interesting angle. Let's see. How long do you? I like Mark Led. Okay, yeah, we read that already. All right. Let's see. I just want to make sure you guys can get a decent look at what's going on. I might have to move this maybe back out. I don't know. People are people, so why should it be? Donald Kent can't stand our music. Perfidy. Hey, are you a musician as well? Oh my God, I guess you guys can start your own band. Okay, there you go. They're too gay for me. I mean, honestly, it's just like that whole. It's all sensitive, you know. You know, I'm more like, give me Led Zeppelin, you know. I mean, I like indie rock. I like that kind of shoegazing, sidewalk gazing, sad music. You know, a good bit of it. But there's just something about Depeche Mode that's, for me, just too girly, I guess. I'm sorry, I know you guys are like gonna unsubscribe now, but I can see how, you know, maybe certain people kind of like grew up with it or something, or others feel like, well, you know, it's got that 80s vibe or something, new wave. But I kind of never jived with new wave. I'm sure there's some that I like, you know. But, you know, I think it's just not really a phase I ever went through. You know, but so like if you can think of some music that isn't too cringe, I will certainly play it. Okay. I am kind of in the mood for a change of music too, actually. There's this weird sort of techno artist guy that I think I'll put him on for a little bit. He's not really well known. He's from the UK. Goes by the name of Wagon Christ. His name's Luke Vibert. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Pop that on for you. Come on. All right. Computer's being slow tonight. Are you against progressive house? I love progressive house. I could totally do that. I heard a new song recently, Slaps. What's the name of the song? Hit me up. You know, the house music scene is like my scene. Locally, that is. You know, I go dancing a lot on the weekends and whatnot. Summer is really the time when, you know, that's cooking the most, you know. But try to get out as much as I can. It's crazy. I was just talking to one of the DJs about this, and I'm like, it's insane how a half-hour walk is like annoying and like too long or some shit like that. But I can dance for 4 hours straight. And he was just like, it's boring, you know. And I think that's one of my biggest problems, is that I just can't. Like, I gotta be mentally stimulated in some way. I can't, you know, like, weightlifting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's not how my brain operates, you know. It's part of why I love sparring so much, because it's totally immersive and totally engaging, and you're creative problem solving in the moment, you know. And of course, every different person you spar with has different skills, and then there's just all kinds of circumstances that come up that maybe are unforeseen, you know. And it's exciting, you know. Or you might want to try out certain techniques or strategies that you think, like, this should work. I'm gonna toss it in there and see how it goes, you know. Oh, so like how I got started with the sparring club was through a really good friend who is a Wing Chun teacher. And I know you guys don't probably know a ton about martial arts. Wing Chun's a pretty well-known, common kind of style. Bruce Lee had a background in Wing Chun. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So he's a very, very close friend and a really hardcore Wing Chun guy. His teacher comes from Hong Kong every year to do like seminars with them, and he's kind of carrying on that lineage, highly dedicated, and also an artist as well. So like we kind of had a lot of that mutual interest stuff going on between the arts and martial arts. And so at first it was really just him and I that were like, let's spar, let's you know, get some gloves on, and you know. And at the time, it's like I had been doing Kung Fu for a long time, but had very little sparring experience other than some years ago where I had a Jeet Kune Do teacher. And I'm like, I gotta get back into this. I have to learn how to apply what I know. So we just got cooking, and we did it pretty frequently. And I think it was his idea. I don't know. It might have been our mutual, like we need to get more people in on this, because we're both kind of getting too used to each other. And it's like, okay, I know your moves, you know my moves. We need to shake it up. We got to get different styles and different people. And so he started like some kind of an online. I can't tell you where he did that, but he essentially put the word out. You know, hey, if you're up for the sparring club, yada yada, we meet here and there at these times. You know, reach out to me, give me whatever, da 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 da. And over 8 years, we met all kinds of different people, and there were people that came in and stayed for a long time, and then just kind of like the onesie twosie guys that are just there to check it out and get a feeling for what it is we do. Let me just quick check, see that music that you wanted to hear. KX5 Escape. I'm gonna hook that up right now. Okay, hold on.
Search one and done.
KX5. Oh, this is super fun. Oh. What's the name of the song? Escape. Okay, let's do it. Excellent. I'm looking forward to something new. Here's the official video. I'm gonna crank it. I'm gonna shut up for a minute and just check out this tune. Hold on. Come on, tune. Only this happens when I'm streaming, you know? Come on, fucking computer. God, you know? It's like, can't things just go smoothly? Just fucking play. Stupid piece of shit. I love people, I'm very patient, but when it comes to machines, I fucking lose my head. I'm like, You know, you just want to smash the piece of shit. Come on, you fuck. And you can, it's fine. You can laugh if you like, but like, I like things to go smoothly, you know? All right, let's chill. And it's, okay, so I guess I'll go back to storytelling until the computer decides not to sabotage my show. So, da da da. I would say I was pretty bad at first. You know, it's just because you know forms really well, or you're super fit, and you're young, or you got XYZ going on. It doesn't really mean that you're good at martial arts. You know, and so that's where the sparring is, from my perspective and in my experience, a crucible from which you actually, like, you burn off the bullshit. You know, this didn't work. This isn't working. I have to change. I've got to figure out how to do what it is that this martial art says, you know. So, okay, I think the computer's ready. Come on. Come on. All right, let's vibe. This is nice. I like this song a lot. It's real nice.
Is it real? Is it just a fantasy? 'Cause the unknown's pulling me. We could leave this place, freedom ours to chase. What if I escape with you? 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 What if I escape with you?
This is nice. I like it. Hey, Don. Hey, CG's here. Awesome. Glad you're live. Cool. Thanks, bro. You guys should check out CG's show. Maybe post a link, CG. It's funny you mentioned Wing Chun. I just finished watching all the Ip Man movies. Ah, cool. Eric Dubay is a Wing Chun master. No, I don't know. I don't know who Eric Dubay is, so can't tell you. Yeah, I don't think I was ever going to hear good house music again. I figured its time had passed. I mean, there's different kinds. I like minimal house. I should say I like it for drawing or doing the dishes, or just kind of like stuff where you're you know, whatever you're kind of focusing on a task. As far as dancing, I like it to be a lot, not like hard, but just funky and fun, you know.
Recordings just
So it's not better. Oh.
Hey, it's Dana from
Wow, that
Australia.
was nice.
So excited to announce that local
You know what? Maybe
recordings
I
are
will
now
put
available
on.
StreamYard.
Shut up.
Have you ever done a recording where your guest just
Maybe I'll put on some minimal house and let you guys get some flavor. Okay, hold on. Okay, I know. Yeah, my little computer's like, oh, I don't know how to perform when you're live streaming. I can't function under pressure. It's like the sabotage of the machines. Okay, minimal house. And that'll do. Okay. There's something on here. All right, hopefully this is good. Okay. All right. So yeah, you know, when you go out dancing, a lot of conditions that have to all kind of be, you know, you gotta have some fine ladies. You know, there's a good vibe in the air. You obviously don't want, like, you know, punks that are, you know, flexing and that kind of shit. The house music scene isn't really like that. It's not a hip hop, you know, it's not, you don't generally find like jerks on that scene. Not, I don't anyway. But occasionally people will come to the club or the show that aren't part of the scene. You know, they heard it was really good and they wanted to crash it, but they don't get the culture, you know. And then they end up just kind of ruining the vibe or whatever. But what else? So back to the sparring topic. It's maybe a little loud here. I'll probably turn it down a bit. Not sure that's exactly the vibe I was looking for, but so I was losing a lot. You know, I was just not doing great at sparring. I was getting it, you know, like getting the wrong, the shit end of the stick. I was, you know, I realized like I got to get my skills better. And I mean, it still was fun, and I was getting exercise and seeing improvement, what have you. But I was just working with people that had higher skill levels than I did. And so I made it a point to get more serious about how it all works, how to take all of these, because, you know, you do forms, and it takes like a huge, crazy amount of time to memorize all these very unique movements, and then to do them in sequence and, you know, perfectly and with power and all. You know, there's quite a lot involved. It's a massive time investment. So, you know, I spoke to one of my teachers in more detail about this, and then he joined the sparring club, and so not like as sort of full time or whatever. Really, he came a couple times, but he knew that this was something that I was doing outside of class, so he spent a lot of time with me privately to be like, okay, this is the meaning of this, and this is how you use that, and something. So then I would take his assistance and then go into the sessions and work it out, you know. One of the best bits of advice that I ever got was essentially to trust the system. I think a lot of people who start off in sparring, they panic, you know, they don't want to get hit. It's sort of scary to them or something, and they kind of flail about and blah blah blah. And it ends up being like you're not doing the stuff that you learned, you know. You got to figure like, try to imagine you're on the road and you I don't, it's raining or snowing and you lose control of the car. You're not just gonna like go all over the place. No, you're gonna use your experience with how to drive a fucking car to like save your life, you know. So you do the same with kung fu. You don't panic. And you gotta have a clear head about you. And that's tough to do when you got fists flying in your face, right? You know. So a lot of it was that sort of mental poise that I worked on, and then I would get kind of raise it up and get it like harder and harder and harder, where you know I'd be working out with people that understood all this, and be like, okay, I'm gonna up the intensity now. You know, I'm gonna up it a little more. I'm gonna up it a little more, and you know, you do get a little hurt. You're not like horribly injured or anything, but there's, you know, it just comes with the territory. You know, if you're playing football, you're gonna get tackled, kind of thing. And through that, I gained a lot of confidence. But that wasn't all. There's like very many other principles that I was just always trying to find and employ, and I just find it fascinating. It's all really, really fun and enjoyable if you've got the right people to work with, you know. Even if you don't have the right people to work with, there's still a lot to gain, because a lot of it really kind of depends on your attitude, your approach to it, what you're making of it for yourself, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I've only seen one of the Wing Chun movies. I thought it was pretty good. I believe it's Donnie Yen. Am I right? Who plays Yip Man? I would say, like, from what I know about Wing Chun, that's like movie Wing Chun. That's not like the essence of Wing Chun from like the Yip Man lineage. I can only say that because the Wing Chun teacher that I had the sparring club with was from the Yip Man lineage, and so I learned a lot from. I mean, just being a bystander, you know. I've tried learning some Wing Chun. I admire the style. It just, for whatever reason, was just never something that I went into. It seems like a good amount of people are into it out there. Like it's if you're in the sparring game or whatever, you will tend to come across a good amount of Wing Chun guys out there. Alright, let's see what you guys are talking about. Alright, yeah, I don't think I was ever going to hear that. Good music for being in a flow state. Thank you. That's quite right. Alright, lovely. There you go, man. So as far as like like I said, the sparring, I'm having fun, but you know, it took me quite a while to really get good at it. One of the neat experiences is we had a guy who was from Beijing, China, who joined the club at one point. He must have heard about it online or something. And he did a style called Xing Yi Chuan. And in Chinese martial arts, there's like, they kind of divide it into like Buddhist and Taoist styles. And this is a Taoist style. So the three Taoist styles are Tai Chi, Xing Yi, and Bagua, all of which are extremely cool and extremely powerful. Hard to find, it's just near impossible to find a Xing Yi teacher Like, I mean, the dude's from Beijing, so of course he's got access to all kinds of teachers. And so that relationship was really interesting because the dude's from Beijing, you know, and he's like China #1, you know, like he's like member of the Communist Party. Like, you know, this dude's a hardcore. People from Beijing, like, they look down on the rest of China. They're almost like racist against Chinese people from the perspective that we're better than you. We're from Beijing, you know. That's a whole other dynamic. But anyway, for me, of course, I had come back from Taiwan, and I'm, you know, trying to speak Chinese with him, and we're connecting in a lot of ways. We're becoming buds in our own kind of way. And I tried to learn Xingyi from him. I learned some Xingyi from him.